All right, Tesla stock. Good news and bad news for Tesla. Good news being this is a cool pattern that we're setting up, and other good news is this is actually a bull flag pattern. The downward megaphone thing is bullish. Bad news is we're not quite to the bottom, but we're close. And let's take a look at Tesla, and it's pretty similar. Actually, we have this kind of downward breakout to the spot, of the down wedge. As the same thing we're doing on the S&P. Tesla's doing the same pattern. And the S&P bottomed last week, and Tesla looks like it could do it Monday or Tuesday. And I think this could be a really killer entry into a Tesla trade, which the stock options are ridiculously expensive if you're going longer than like a couple of weeks. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's throw some tags on here and get the exact dates and targets, because this is a really easy pattern to trade if it happens like this. So I would say, here, let's zoom in on this thing a little bit. I would say this week coming up we would bottom this pattern, and you can see where the downtrend meets it is, what's that, Monday? It says Monday. So yeah, let's just throw it on Monday and just assume we get a giant red Tesla candle, which would probably pull the S&P down a bit. That doesn't look like Monday. That looks like a couple of gaps. 23 is Monday, right? 4, 5, 6. That's Thursday. Alright, so there's my tag for the downside move. That would make this whole week kind of bearish for Tesla, which would probably be kind of bearish or sideways for the S&P, probably bearish for NASDAQ. Other stuff, who knows? Just using Tesla chart to predict everything else in the world, which is probably stupid. But anyway, that's my down tag, and we've stepped through this line once, but we usually just hold it. But this is a pretty big down move, so you could step through a little bit, but and you can double tap and stay down, but probably not on a big megaphone crossover. You would probably go back to the top pretty quick. So I don't know the time scale on going up, but it looks like we go down kind of slow and we shoot straight up. Like this move kind of rolled and came up, but this was the breakout of the downtrend. There's no downtrend on us right now except for, I guess, this one, the one we're in. But we would be breaking out of that immediately. And then if you just went vertical, it's over 1,000, and that's just August. So yeah, those are my targets. And we've already gone 3. This is our 4th tap on the bottom. That's probably the end of the megaphone pattern. I know I drew it like huge just to be ridiculous, but this is probably the end of the megaphone pattern here. And it's, yeah, these patterns, this descending megaphone at a top is a bull flag pattern, which is, it's like 80% bullish. It's more bullish than a normal bull flag. So a breakdown could be here or at the next one, wherever that would be, down here somewhere. We could worry about that later, but the technical best guess is this is a support area here above 550, and we go to about 1,000, and then usually here, let me just draw what you usually do if you're going to break out here, is you'll usually break out of the top, and then you'll come back and test it, and then your height, I don't know where to draw it from, maybe here? Your height coming into the megaphone would match the breakout height, which would throw you to like 2,000. So that would be insane and unexpected, I think. Right now everyone's super bearish, and I don't usually make crazy bullish calls like this because I've been looking for sort of the top of the market, but I don't think we're at the top of the market, and it's totally possible that we do a big rip to the upside. It could be even steeper and more vertical than this, actually. to go to the top of a crazy. I mean, this is the end of a bull market since, I guess you could say, like 1930 or maybe like 1983, somewhere, depending on where you want to say that this bull market started. It's not weird to get super volatile vertical moves like right at the top. Yeah, anyway, that's Tesla. And then if you go back to S&P, I kind of played with this a little bit to try to show where the lines are converging on the S&P, because we have this sort of bearish channel. So you can see we kind of ran into the channel, busted through, and now we're jumping on top. And you can see the same kind of descending wedge breakout to a lower low here. The same thing that Tesla did, but we bottomed last week, or maybe bottomed last week. Or, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the S&P does. If Tesla comes down another bar, whatever, the S&P might throw another bar down. But I think this is a big-time bottoming area for exactly all the reasons that you can see right here. I mean, we broke out. We're testing it. If we break down, I just don't think we're gonna vertically break down through all this stuff right now. I mean, I guess we can, but like even as a bearish thing, like using this as a neckline, that's just like a couple of weeks of bounce into the neckline before we would turn over. And so like as a bearish call, I still think we'll bounce out of here. Like this is probably my most bearish call, would be bounce out, and then maybe this could be. This convergence of points is a good spot to look at for the S&P, which is the beginning of August, and it's down to 35, So that's kind of a bearish look. I still expect that we would bounce out of here. But if you look at the Tesla pattern, like if Tesla is going there on this huge megaphone crossover, then where would the S&P be headed? Up, whatever. Like just conservatively, you could say the S&P would rally somewhere in here, or potentially like way up here to the top of the channel and just break out, something like that. So those are kind of my targets right now, and I really don't know, the Tesla pattern looks pretty good, and this doesn't look like it's going to break down, so I'm bullish now. I'm taking sort of leap long positions, which are just, January or next January call options, and just looking for an up move and trying to figure out what it's doing after that starts, which should be, next week or the following week or something like that. But I think we are going to coil and do a bounce, and I don't think it's going to be another sort of bull trap looking flip like this. I think we're actually going to rally up and do what I think is going to be the last leg of this bull market and topping pattern. Right, and so Tesla is actually not one of the stocks or one of the sectors that I think is going to be doing all that well at the end, and especially not once we get past the top. But that technical setup on Tesla looks really good, so I'm very open-minded to being completely wrong on my, thesis where we're switching towards materials and minerals and miners. We should be able to see the next couple weeks what really starts moving. And yeah, anyway, I just wanted to do a few updates on some different charts here in the past few days, because this is a critical spot, and I think it's a reversal point. So that's Tesla, which the big drama is Tesla's coming down, and so, I mean, if we're coming down to a key spot, well, that's awesome. I mean, you can see the line without the lines on the chart. It's just a very cut, like, downtrend. Yeah, and it just all converges, like, right to this point. So, that's a cool descending wedge. Sort of descending wedge is a bullish reversal area, and a megaphone as a big bullish thing too. So this is a bunch of bullish structures that are sort of reversal structures in a downtrend. So you don't usually get patterns that are this pretty. Not to say that it will do just exactly the generic technical thing that it's supposed to. It usually does not do that, but this is the generic technical thing it's supposed to do. So yeah, that's cool. I guess we could look at some similar stocks. I usually go over, you know, lithium and batteries and other EV companies and stuff when I'm looking at Tesla. So Workhorse I looked at the last video. This one is cool just because it has it just has a good structure to it. But you can see we did a big descending wedge and a tiny breakout back on top. This is the same kind of breakout pattern. It's just like the the descending wedge breakout on Tesla and the S&P was just a monster huge rollover. This is usually what you get when you get a breakout, is a big wedge and a little breakout. That's a lot more common. And this is the same thing. You break out and you tap once or twice, but this is a really good key area where we could reverse out of here. It doesn't need to take directly off, and this is still downhill. These bottoms are still going downhill. You want to get like an uphill W. So I'm not taking any kind of short-term options trades or anything like that. Like, I'm just trying to position long with shares and like very long duration calls. And then if things start crashing again, I'll go back to cash. And if they start going up, I'll be looking, whatever. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, anyway, Workhorse, I like this chart. And this is a company that's not really competitive with Tesla. It's delivery trucks, electric delivery trucks. Let's just flip through some of these. A lot of these charts are ugly. They don't look good. Yeah, that's awful. This is sort of a descending wedge pattern here that broke to the downside. And then once that happens, that's kind of hard to play with. I had this really weak channel I put on here. This is Canoe, Go EV. But yeah, I don't know. This looked like it was going to break out and it coiled and it dropped. So I guess this might be a cool chart to look at in terms of, like, this is kind of where we are on the S&P right here, like coiling. And you don't have to go up. Like, you get this downward breakout, it can break to the downside. And that already happened on this stock. So you can see what that looks like when it happens. It's pretty ugly, and it's about the height of the drop again. That's actually a pretty technical breakdown when that pattern goes south. And then who knows, I don't know if this is a good, I mean, maybe that's a good spot to trade up on this thing. I don't know. That's a ugly chart. But, and not investment advice, everything as usual. Not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to draw the lines so everyone can see where we are. Nikola, yeah, this is a company I was trying to short a few months ago because I thought this neckline could result in a drop here. That was looking like a, and it, I guess, kind of did, not really. So, yeah, this is still just in a bearish trend here. Not a very good technical pattern. I don't know, the Nikola stock, like, that company just, I think, doesn't have any products and they're not going to make anything good. Like, I don't like that company, but that doesn't really matter so much for speculative, like, trading on short-term stuff near the top of a bubble, as you're just speculating on mania stuff. You know, another bearish trend. This one looks like it could maybe be bottoming out, but it hasn't put in a higher low or anything where it's obvious that it's breaking out. It hasn't actually broken the trend line. It's just still going down. This actually just looks like it's just going to break down farther. So this is Ride, R-I-D-E, Lordstown Motors. That's ugly, but you know, we're looking for a breakout. Like, it's a lot of reactions down the line without breaking out of it. FUV, Arcimoto. Similar, just sloppy, bearish chart. And so actually I didn't notice this one is coming into a support area where it could pick up. So this is actually a cool chart here. And this could pick up a normal support line at the same time when Tesla hits the bottom of that megaphone pattern. So actually this one could be a really cool pattern that could break out and just start going uphill at the same time Tesla reverses. 340, you know, sort of a penny stock or whatever. This is a cool one. I was flipping through looking for charts like that where things are at sort of bullish area. So I mean, you can see it comes into resistance, runs up, comes into, you know, if it ran up again, it could go from 3 to 30, 10x in not too much time from there. Just if it follows the same pattern again, but I mean, if it followed the Tesla pattern, it would be going higher than that. So that's a cool chart. I'll look at that one again. FUV. Let me flag that thing or unflag it. All right, Rivian. Obviously, it IPO'd at the worst possible time when everything's crashing, and there's really no technicals to work off of here. But this is just the same, just straight downtrend that hasn't been broken yet. So good luck on that thing. Oh my god, what a disaster. That thing came out at the worst possible moment. Solo. Another sloppy bear trend. So yeah, all these small EV companies are just in a nasty bearish trend that hasn't broken out. Just to kind of get the feel for that whole sector. REE. This is one I was shorting a lot, and it worked out pretty well. That's so ugly. But again, you know, you get these giant vertical stabs to the downside, and then it has to figure out what to do. It rarely does a huge step in another one. It usually will coil and decide if it wants to reverse or not. And so we already had a pretty big bounce here. And that's into the bottom of a bear channel. So that's a tough one to trade. Good luck. And now we're kind of switching out of the car companies into tertiary companies like charging and lithium and batteries and things like that. Sort of related, except that if we switch into sort of commodities and minerals and things like that, you know, like battery company might not be doing that well, but like a lithium mining company may do really well at the same time. And if we're not quite there yet, the opposite might be true. So yeah, same kind of thing. A bearish trend, but it's not strong. It looks kind of like a bear flag, and you could pick up any of these areas. Like, it's possible to just pick up this channel and go. But the highest probability is sort of the bottoming channel area. I have a crooked line. I'm not going to fix it right now. QuantumScape. I forget what QuantumScape does. I don't remember. I think they're batteries. I'm pretty sure this is batteries. Or like technology for batteries. And another sloppy bear trend. Yeah, like this breakout here, where it came to the support area, I was trying to go long on a few of these at that spot, and they broke down. And I just got out of all of that stuff. So that's kind of the spot here where, same kind of thing, where I think we're at a really good bullish bottoming area, but we may not, we may not be, and I'll go straight back to cash. Okay. All right, QuantumScape fuel cell. They make fuel cells. Same thing, just bearish trend, bearish trend, bearish trend, all this stuff. But I think things like this, like Aqua Metals, this is more of a materials company, and it has a similar chart, but the company is a materials company. So if we're rotating into materials, it's possible for the materials companies to be doing a lot better than the actual tech companies that are related to them. And this chart doesn't look that awesome, but you know, It could just be a bull flag. Like a lot of these things kind of just look not aggressively bearish, they just look like they're flagging down. So just kind of looking for a breakout pattern on a lot of these. American Battery Metals, or yeah, that's right, American Battery. Similar, same kind of thing. Oh, and there's LODE, should be here. I think I moved it down. I've got some materials stocks that I want to look at. And I think that got moved to that area, but this is Comstock Mining, which is like lithium and cobalt mining. And so this is a company I thought could do good in both cases. It's the mining company that, because lithium and cobalt are pretty rare, but this looks awful. This is giant down move. But the company had ridiculously high valuations at one point. And these are rare, kind of, I think we're coming into a worldwide shortage in materials and switching into sort of a materials market soon. We should probably have a little run of these before everything comes down. And this, like this bit that we've come down now is not the crash, I don't think. I think we're going to go up and we're going to have a bigger crash than this. Or we could just have the bigger crash now. That could happen. But I think after the bigger crash, these materials stocks are going to be good again. And yeah, so this is kind of a similar chart. This looks more like a bear flag continuation than it does the opposite. It looks like we just had a big down move, bear flag down move. But I do think these are interesting ones to keep an eye on if we start seeing all the material stocks taking over. I'm not sure if these are not like typical material stocks. These are materials for newer technology, the cobalt and lithium for the batteries, for all the EVs and stuff like that. So they're tricky. Like there was a lot of speculation on these during the bubble, and I don't really know how they fit into that sort of pattern of, you know, materials. But in any case, that's Tesla and related kind of stuff. It looks bearish this week, and we'll try to see if we get a bottom here on all that, and potentially a huge reversal on Tesla specifically, and also on the S&P. So that is the update for this one. Yeah, that's good. That'll do it.